This hangout is live on air. Hi! I hope everyone can see me. If you can't or you can't hear me, feel free to leave a comment in the event page. I have it open, and I'm also going to enable the Q&A, so if you have any questions, you can start typing them. And I apologize if I talk too fast, but I'm Crystal, and I'm so glad that you took time out of your night to not only be in this program, but to be here, with us working on your blog. I blog at crystalskitsch.com if you don't know that by now. And I started Bloggers Get Social at first just as a way to network with other bloggers, and then I realized it could become so much more than that. So I opened up the group to more people that I knew, and then I started asking people on my newsletter list like what they needed help with. And so I thought it would be good just to have a place on Facebook where every day we have kind of like a challenge. And it's supposed to be like a 3-week challenge, and then after the challenge, you can stay in the group and keep networking with everybody else. But hopefully this will be like a monthly thing. So in October, on October 1st, I'm actually going to open the doors to hopefully a group of other bloggers that have signed up. So before I get all into that, I want to introduce Rachel. So Rachel is here to help. I'm so excited that she's here.
Hi, everybody. I don't know. Is it on me? I don't know.
It's on. Go.
I'm Rachel. I blog at Can't Google Everything, and I also run the Northeast Bloggers Network. And I'm basically working as Crystal's assistant here and helping moderate the chat, the discussion here tonight. So. And that's just a little bit about me, and you can check me out at can'tgoogleeverything.blogspot.com or northeastbloggers.com.
Hooray! I'm so glad she's here. So as for blog resources, what it's supposed to be is it's supposed to be more like an open forum where if you have questions, I hopefully will know the answer to them or I will find out. And over the course of the past 2 weeks, I've realized how much time it takes, which is awesome, but it can be time consuming not only for you as a blogger, but for me who is also blogging and trying to help everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a monthly class every month, and it'll start on the 1st, and you guys are already in it, so yay. And you guys are grandfathered in, and going forward, I'm going to, charge people just a little bit to join the group, to receive the emails every day. And there'll be prizes, and I'm working with Mama's Got It Together, and she's going to design planner printables for us. So they will only be available to us, so that's super awesome, and I'm very excited about those. So just, they're going to be like how to track your Google Analytics and your page views, like a daily to-do list, a monthly to-do list, just sort of things that I have developed that will hopefully help so you can stay on track. Because, essentially, you'll get like 15 or 16 emails for the month, and then after that, stay in the group. New people will get the same emails that you've already received, and they'll be asking the same kinds of questions. So it should just be really fun. And, as new technologies come out, which they happen all the time, we can learn and grow and just kind of work together. But like I said, you guys are kind of like my beta testers, so I'm really excited that you were able to be here and kind of help. And so hopefully at the end, you'll answer my survey and leave me a testimonial and just let me know what worked, what sucked. Maybe you didn't like the emails, or maybe you wanted more information, but hey, this was free, so I kind of did this just for fun. So, but if you know anybody that wants to join, October 1st will be opening day. So I think that is kind of everything I wanted to say about Bloggers Get Social. Oh, we're going to do another hangout this month, and then at the end, we're going to celebrate with a Twitter party. So if you have not done a Twitter party yet, or if you're a little shy about doing a Twitter party, we'll do like a happy, fun one so that you're not scared about using Twitter. Some people are, some people are not. Maybe you are a Twitter expert, and that's awesome, and you can help out. There'll be prizes, and I just want this to be sort of a fun environment where it's not work. It is something that you enjoy doing, that you get up every day and you look forward to doing it, because I still get up every day and I look forward to doing this. Is it work? Yes. Do I work all day? Yes. Do I work at night? Yes. But it's so worth it because of the opportunities that you get and the people you get to meet, like Rachel, who I've never met in person, but I've known her like 5 years probably. I don't know, 4, something like that. I've known her forever. And together we've just grown our websites and we've come so far. So it's really great to help other people do the same thing. So that's kind of it. And we're going to go into questions that came from the Facebook group. And Rachel's going to kind of moderate this. And hopefully I do not talk too fast. So there you
go. All right, guys. So our first question is about Instagram. So this blogger is wondering what kind of tools are useful for Instagram as a blogger.
Well, there are probably a million. And the ones that I just wanted to talk about that I did not put in the email were Latergram, Schedulergram, I don't even know if that's how you say it, and Iconosquare. And I used to use Iconosquare for work, and it was before it was called Statagram. And it was just a place where you could look up hashtags, you could follow people, just kind of like a good research place. So if you were looking for new lifestyle bloggers to follow, you could hop on, you could search, hashtag blog or hashtag fashion blogger, food blogger, and it's just so much easier being on a desktop, I'm sure you know, than being on your phone and trying to do that. And you can like pictures. You can't upload to Instagram, as far as I know, unless they changed it within the past few weeks. But I really, really liked that, and not only from a corporate standpoint because I had to use it for work to sort of grow our network of business leaders, but also just personally, it's a really great tool to use. So with Latergram and Schedulergram, those are ways to schedule your Instagram updates. I have never tried this, so I am not an expert, but it apparently exists, and I've heard good things about it. I update live, and Schedulergram is actually $13 a month. So I don't know, it's kind of something that you'd have to think about, like, is Instagram, like, really worthwhile for you? And if it is, woo, dude, I am busy. Apparently, oh, this Kristen is messaging me. I'm sorry. I had to look to make sure that she was able to to see. So I'm glad. Thank you, Kristen. I'm glad you're here. Anyways, so back to Instagram stuff. Scheduling things on any social network, I think, just requires not only the time, but sort of, are you willing to put in the time up front to sort of schedule all your things, so in theory you have more of your time like during the week, but then you have to kind of remember, like, what did you schedule? You need to still log in and you have to interact with people, because if you just schedule all your tweets out and you're not logging into Twitter to reply to people, it's not doing anybody any favors. So that's just something to think about. But if you do schedule your Instagram photos, I'd like to hear how it goes. I try to post on Instagram once a day, sometimes twice a day, and I think this is kind of going into a question later, but I'll just say it right now. One thing that I find on Instagram that works for me, that gets really great engagement, is like behind the scenes. And you may have heard that before, like if you're a food blogger or you're a fashion blogger, like what are you doing to get, to set up your blog? What does your office look like? What does your blog planner look like? Show me your kitchen. Like, are you cooking a recipe? What are your ingredients? And those always seem to do really well. So, but kind of thinking about hashtags on Instagram, we decided we're going to do a Bloggers Get Social hashtag. And starting now, so from now until forever, hopefully, any picture that you post on Instagram that is related to your blog, please hashtag it Bloggers Get Social. I'm going to start. Rachel's going to start. And we will come by, leave you a comment, give you a heart. There is an app called Repost, so we can even repost those images if you're interested. So I don't know, I just hope that will be really fun. And starting October 1st, we'll do a monthly photo challenge. And I know that there are so many photo challenges out there, but then whenever you really want to do one, you don't know where to look. So let's just have one. Let's have it ongoing. Bloggers Get Social. That's it, every day. One picture on Instagram every day from your blog. Come on, I know you can do it. And that will help boost your following and your engagement. I mean, if you post once a day, twice a day, you'll see a difference. There were times many months ago when I would forget to post and I would feel kind of bad. Don't feel bad about it. Don't stop your life to update your Instagram. But it really does work when you use it, and you build connections with people, and they may not click over to your blog, but they want to get to know you, which I think is more important, because you have a voice, and it's not always about what's on your blog. You're a person, and I think people really want to get to know you. So, one thing I did want to say is how I get my pictures onto my phone. If you don't already know, I have Dropbox. So if I'm on my computer and I'm editing pictures, I just put it in my Dropbox, and then I open Dropbox on my iPhone, and I have the picture, and I save it, and I just upload it to Instagram. It's already edited because I used it on Photoshop. So yeah, so that's all about Instagram. Rachel?
Yeah, okay. And if I could just add something, I think that your ideas are really good about showing the before and after, and especially for if your blog is really focused on crafts or food, you can really show those elements like, oh, here's 5 things I'm using in this craft. See the results of my blog tomorrow, or something, you know, like it's almost like a teaser. So that's like another, you know, method you could use if you want to connect it to your blog in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just going to say that I've started adding bit.ly links to my Instagram captions, even though on Instagram you obviously cannot click them, but when it publishes to Facebook and when it publishes to Twitter, you can. So I don't know if people are clicking on them. I could check my bit.ly analytics. I probably should to see if it actually works. But that is just, you know, something that you can do. And also I put this in the email yesterday. Something that I really, really like to do is on my profile, I just edit my URL probably like once or twice a week with my most favorite posts. So instead of it saying crystalskitchen.com, it'll be, you know, my most recent dessert recipe. So that way if you are on my Instagram and you do click, you go directly to like the best post that you could possibly go to. So hopefully that'll get people to stick around.
All right, so we have a couple more questions about Instagram. The next question is, how can bloggers increase their Instagram following?
I just think if people sort of kind of use those tips, and if you if you update every day, I think you'll just notice that people are going to follow you more. I find also at night when I publish pictures, they do way better than in the morning or in the afternoon. For some reason, like 9 or 10 o'clock, I get way more likes and way more engagement. I guess people are in bed and they're looking through their pictures, so that doesn't, you know, that obviously makes sense. Something that I used, I can't say that this was a good idea or a bad idea, but I am in Facebook groups where we follow other bloggers on Instagram, and it, you know, more followers breeds more followers. You know, if you go to someone's Instagram profile and they have 3,000 followers, you'll probably be interested, you know, what are they doing that is getting them this following? They must be awesome. I'm going to follow them. So I can't say if that's good or bad. You want authentic followers. You want people that are going to engage with you and really enjoy what you post. But that is a strategy that you could use. Take it or leave it. There are also giveaways I'm sure you've seen where you can follow people on Instagram. Again, take it or leave it. That is totally up to you. If you are trying to work with brands and they are looking for like a super savvy Instagram user, I mean, obviously they're going to like people that have a lot of followers. So it's probably, you know, you do what you want to do, but that is something to keep in mind.
Okay, and last question about Instagram. Kaylin asked, what should bloggers share on their Instagram? And you kind of already talked about that, but maybe besides, you know, your blog specific things.
Well, I just think what I really like, well, what I like to see just as a person is I like to see clothes, I like to see travel, I like to see really bright colors. I want to know that you took time to like take that picture, and I know that I run my pictures probably through like 2 apps just because it makes them better. Sometimes when you take a picture on your iPhone, it doesn't come out very well. I shared all the editing apps that I used in the email from yesterday, and the link is in the forum in case you want to go back and reference it if you don't have it in your inbox. But I don't know, just bright colors. Try to take photos outside. When you take photos inside, I'm sure you know that they don't always come out very well. So just try to do what you can to have really engaging, bright images. I think people will really appreciate that, and they'll want to follow you and see what you're doing next.
All right, great tips, Crystal. So next we're going to move on to Twitter.
Great.
So let's discuss a little bit. What are some tips to keep in mind when using Twitter?
Well, the one thing that I just wanted to say about Twitter, I'm sure we could talk about Twitter for hours, is a lot of people have been retweeting others, and they're in Facebook groups, and they are like, I'll retweet you if you retweet me. And, you know, it's important to not fill up your feed with like 50 retweets at once, because then I see them and I'm like, what's going on? But not only that is you can schedule your retweets out. And some people seem to be scheduling them with Hootsuite, I think. I've been getting a lot of my tweets retweeted, and they're like missing the link. So it's just they're retweeting, Crystal made this recipe, and there's no link, there's no picture, there's no identifying information to make that retweet worthwhile. So I'm 90% sure those people are using Hootsuite, and because of the character count, it just chops off the URL. And so when you are using a scheduler, it's kind of good to keep in mind. I really like using Buffer to schedule my retweets because that does not happen. It just buffers the retweet. It doesn't change it into a text update or anything. It just goes out, and you can use it for free. I think you can schedule 10 updates at a time for free. I pay every month, so and I think it's like the most worthwhile social thing to have that you can pay for is Buffer. So do you have any other ideas, Rachel?
Sure, I'll talk a little bit about Twitter. So I think that's a really good tip. You don't want to clog up your feed with retweets, because if you're looking at someone's Twitter and you're looking through your feed and you want to see some good links, and then all you see is retweet, 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 it can be kind of, not appealing as a reader, as the audience. So that's something to keep in mind. Like you said, spread out your retweets so you're not clogging up everyone's feed with retweets of, all these different links. So speaking of links, a lot of times us bloggers, myself included, of course, tend to focus just on tweeting out our content and our links. But you have to keep in mind, if you're putting your links out there, that's not everything people want to see. So people, just like on Instagram, we want to get to know each other. We want to see what your day's like, maybe a picture of something fun that happened. So it's good to keep in mind to have other things besides just spamming your your Twitter feed with the links from your blog. Basically, you don't want to just overwhelm everybody. Here's my link, read my blog. There's more to you, like Crystal said earlier, than just your blog. So it's good to get a whole picture of that person on their Twitter as well. If you're interested in working with brands, it's a good idea to keep your Twitter positive. Now, not saying like to be fake. You don't want to be like fake positive, but don't sit there complaining about brands like, oh, I had this terrible experience with such and such. Why haven't you written me back? Negative things that other brands will see, and then perhaps maybe not be as inclined to want to work with you. So that would be another tip to keep in mind. Keep it positive. If you really have a serious complaint, privately contact the company or go to their store, especially if you're a blogger interested in working with brands online. So, just keeping it positive. And so on that note, my third tip, if you are interested in engaging with brands, you might have to start off with kind of like at the base. So you're not just going to all of a sudden get like a $500 sponsored post from a brand if you've never, talked about them or anything. So it might be beneficial, take it or leave it, but it might be beneficial to tweet two brands that you love and, kind of promote those brands on your own, just like, hey, I bought this new Old Navy dress today and it's so awesome and I love the store, or whatever. Just something kind of like putting your name out there, putting your feelers out there, so that if that brand does want to work with you in the future, they can go back and look at your tweets and see, oh, they already wrote positive things about us. They must really like us. Maybe they're more inclined to want to work with you in the future. So just some thoughts on, working with brands and sponsored, trying to get maybe some sponsored posts using Twitter. And then lastly, followers. It's, the same as Instagram. You can do the different methods. You can do giveaways, follow me on Twitter, tweet out this link in your Facebook groups. Another thing you could do is follow people in your blogging niche niche, and follow a bunch of people, and some of them hopefully will follow you back. And then, as time goes on, just slowly gaining those more and more followers, finding hashtags of things you're interested in, and following those people who then hopefully would in exchange follow you back as well. So those are some different, little tips you can use, which would hopefully help you increase your Twitter standing, so to speak.
Woohoo! I just want to say.
Okay, and do you have anything else for Twitter?
Yeah. Kristen is listening, and I love her. She's at Bon Bon Rose Girls, and she just wanted to point out that if you aren't using Twitter lists, you're really missing out, because they can help you organize all of the people that you're following. I know that I have a Twitter list for people I know in real life, blogger favorites, bloggers who I'm following, but may not be my favorites, but I want to get to know them, brands, people to watch. So if you have time and you're able to, sort of organize people into lists so that you don't miss anything that you may want to follow. That way it's not overwhelming, too, because if you follow a bunch of people, I follow like 2,000 people. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a great idea, to keep it organized, definitely. And then you can follow other people's lists, too. Like, you could go follow Crystal's list and, see who her favorite, people are or whatever, and meet more people that way.
Yay! I know.
Yay. Okay, so let's move on to our next question, which is, what is the purpose of a tribe or a blogging group? And also, what are the requirements going to be for these, small groups?
Okay. And we're going to just do this, and feedback is always appreciated, but I've been in a few tribes, so I kind of know how they work, and everybody wants different things, or everybody kind of has demands. They want this or they don't want to share that. So for this, I just want to keep it fun. Like I said, the whole point of this is to have fun. This is not supposed to be stressful. This is not supposed to take away time out of your life, that is better spent somewhere else. It is just about growing your blog, trying to find ways to make money, and meeting new people. So with a tribe, what I'm going to do in blog resources with you guys, which some of you already left your links, which is awesome, and I will group everybody off soon. But as the new people come in, I'm going to have new tribes, and we're all just going to work together. And if I put you in tribe 1, I don't know, I think the best thing to do is just sort of be friendly. So if there's a link specifically that you would like promoted, you could pick up to 2 links a week, retweet, pin it, leave them a comment. If you're super into Stumble Upon, Stumble It, that's very nice. But I don't want there to be any hard, strict rules. I don't want people to get a bad taste about it, because it is supposed to be fun. And when I group you off into tribes, they are hopefully going to be people that you really want to know. They have a great blog. They have a blog in your same category. They have the same interests as you. Maybe they're located near you. I'm going to be very, intentional about the people that I group together. It's not just going to be you, and you. I just want it to be friendly, make the connection, either work together, share their things. But yeah, I don't want it to be stressful. Some tribes are really stressful, and they have a checklist. They're like, you didn't share this twice, or something that I deal with a lot. And this is, I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I like to make cocktail recipes. Some people don't drink, and that's okay. So some people don't want to share some of my recipes, and that is fine by me. No need to make a big deal about it. So, you find things on their blog that you think are appropriate to share with your audience, and, just support each other. And through that support, that's how a blog grows. Just being in these Facebook groups and working with tribes and working with people like Rachel, comments breed other comments. If Rachel leaves me one comment, I notice all of a sudden I have more, because somebody decided they weren't going to be the first comment, but they're okay with being the second or third, and maybe they want to reply to Rachel's comment about what she said. So just kind of that engagement is really important, I think, and just keep it light and keep it fun. So no strict requirements, but check in with your people a week, once a week. If they ask a question, they need to click on a link, just be nice. I think, it's all about courtesy. Cheers, Rachel! So I think that's it about tribes. Oh, and I wanted to say, because somebody just commented in the group, you guys, if you get my emails right now for blog resources, you've received like 8 of them, including you, I think Lix, I don't know, Liz. You do not have to pay. You're in. You were my trial run. You guys are helping me shape this. You guys are helping me create something that I hope will be really helpful for other people. So you guys are in the group. You're in. I mean, after your 15 emails, you're not going to get any other emails probably because you've already gotten them. And then all the information will be in the group. So new people that come in on October 1st to get those emails and to be a part of our Facebook group, it's not even going to be a huge charge. It's just a little bit because I do want to put time into this, and I do want to give you, like I said, the printables and access to information that hopefully you haven't seen anywhere else. That's kind of the whole point. So, okay, there you go. Let me see if anybody had any other questions on that.
My microphone was muted. Whoopsies.
Welcome back.
So next we're going to talk about time management. Candy wants to know if there is a good way to schedule everything.
This is a very loaded question, and I know Candy from another Facebook group, and it is so hard to find something that will do everything that you want to do. And just when you think you have found something, like CoSchedule for WordPress, all of a sudden they drop Pinterest. So you had it all figured out, and you could tweet, you could Facebook, you could pin, you could Google+, and now pin's gone. So you're back to, okay, well, I want to schedule my pins again. I'm currently an online blog conference right now, and they were talking about Ahology, which I am a member of, and they are going to open up for more members. And Ahology is a Pinterest scheduler. It does a whole, it's other stuff too. You can find other pins and network with other bloggers. So if you are not on Ahology or you're not on their waiting list, I would just sign up. So hopefully that will be open to the public soon. I think she said like next month. So, but besides that, my favorite, like I said earlier, is just Buffer. I usually buffer all my tweets. All my tweets are usually scheduled. Facebook, I usually schedule inside Facebook, and I don't make it a big deal. I met with someone this week, and I know she's watching, and she said she spent like 3 hours on Facebook, which blew my mind, like to schedule everything, because she's so intentional, and she has a great Facebook page, so you can tell. Like, she is so intentional with what she posts, when she posts, the kind of content that she shares, and you can tell. But, I don't think you need to spend tons of time. The more you update on Facebook, the better engagement I see. So if you are on, share a page, share somebody's photo, share like a really popular Facebook's article. Every time I do that, that is much higher reach than anything else. If I share, money saving moms coupon tips, for some reason Facebook shows that to everybody. So the more you share, I think the better engagement that you will get. So I think that's my advice, is to try to use Buffer to schedule what you can. I use Viral Tag for Pinterest along with Ahology. Do I use them every day? No, because you cannot do everything every day. And I wish there was some like magic, answer that, oh, if you schedule everything on Sunday, you could. I don't know who has time for all of that. And if you're here and you're watching, let me know your secret. Because I try to just do things either in the morning or late at night just for the next day. And when Buffer is, when I have all my content in Buffer for Twitter and Facebook, at least I know that my main networks always have fresh stuff to share. So that's kind of my tips on that. And Candy, I hope you find something, or maybe like a combination of ways to sort of get stuff out there. But the more you pin, the more views you get. I know it's kind of like a trap. So the more time you spend on all these networks, I know that it'll pay off. It's just, what are you looking to do?
All right. So speaking of time.
Yay. Rachel's gone. Bye, Rachel. Anyways, I know what she was going to say. She might pop back in at some point. Rachel's back. Yay.
Not sure what happened there.
I see you. It's fine. You can ask a question. I'm totally ready.
Okay, should I start over the question?
Yes, you can read the question.
Okay, so the question is, Kristen wanted to know what times seem to have the best traction for social shares. So what are the best times for the different, social sites to share your content?
Okay, so everybody is going to tell you something different, and everyone is going to tell you it depends on your audience, which I think are, that's an okay answer, but I feel like most of us in this group, we are lifestyle bloggers, we're food bloggers, we have small businesses, and we're looking to connect with people that are like us. And I honestly see the best engagement at night, between 8 and 11 o'clock on Instagram. Pinterest, my Pinterest blows up at night. If I spend the time to schedule my pins and viral tag for the week at night, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, they do very well. That is, of course, when I take the time to do that. But they really do. Twitter, I kind of have, it's hit or miss. It really is. Like, sometimes people reply to me. I tweeted today, like 2 hours ago. Nobody said anything. Nobody favorited it. Nobody retweeted it. It really is it really is about your following though too, and how engaged they are with what you're saying. But I just have great success at night, and also in the mornings. I get good comments really early. So if my post went live at like 6 a.m., by 8 o'clock somebody has said something, and then somebody else has said something, and somebody liked it on Facebook. So I think before work and after work are great times to sort of focus on that. But again, I guess it is all about your following. When are they online? And I think you'll learn once you keep posting consistently. Ooh, yes, Saturday morning on Pinterest. Thank you, Kristen. And a lot of Facebook groups, they do like pin parties on Saturdays because they find power pinning over the weekends is a great idea. Pop up your 10 best pins for the month on Saturday morning, and they get a little more engagement.
Yeah, and if I could just throw in one more thing, just, thinking about when people are looking at stuff, like when do you look at stuff? I look at my phone when I wake up in the morning, and, at night, like you're saying, you jump into bed, pull up your Pinterest, but also, people maybe during their lunch break or kind of in the afternoon when people are getting bored at work, they'll go online, go on Facebook for a couple minutes. Slacking off at work. So that might be another time that you could throw something up there, 3, 3:30, 4 in the afternoon. Just testing out what works best on your personal site.
Yeah, it's fun. So experiment. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so next question. Any tips on working with brands and how to approach them?
I will be 100% honest with this. When I first started blogging in like 2008, I approached brands myself, and the way that I did that was I kind of stalked them. If I saw that there was a giveaway going on and like 5 other blogs that I was reading had the same giveaway, then I knew they were looking for people to promote their stuff. So I would just Google and I would email their whatever email I found. But of course that was 2008. So I think things have changed. I've connected with a few brands at conferences, but nothing has ever really transpired that was super awesome. So the only thing that I'm finding that is working for me are those groups like Pollinate and Weave and Collective Bias and Mom Trends, and just groups that work with bloggers to give them those big brands. So my advice for that is sign up for all the blogging networks that you can. I don't think that you can sign up for too many because you don't know what they're going to have. I've worked with some blogging networks once in a year, but then all of a sudden a year later, they have something for me and it's really great. Some networks I work with once a week. So it really just depends. I've heard the tip that you can Google press releases for a company and then email whatever email that you see, that is taking those inquiries. So that's one way that you could do it. And the brands that email me directly, they are always looking for free exposure. And sometimes I'm okay with that because it's a brand that I really like. But at the same time, if it's a brand that I really like, they're really popular, and so I know that they can afford it. And, I have definitely turned down offers from things that I normally would say yes to, but I already feel like my blog is becoming overwhelmed with sponsored content, so I know that, and I try to make sure that I have variety in my posts every week. But the Marriott in Key West, which I live in Florida, I would love to go to the Marriott in Key West. They emailed me and they wanted me to share an infographic with a link to their site and information about their accommodations, and I wrote them back like so excited, like I would love the Marriott. I go to Key West every year. I would totally like to talk about this. And they wrote me back and they're like, we just want you to post the picture. They don't want anything else from me. So that's kind of disheartening. And I'm sure they're a great company, and I'm sure that they work with bloggers all the time. But that was just my experience with one company. That happened about 6 months ago. And sometimes you just have to walk away. I'm sure the infographic would have been awesome. I'm sure it was pictures of the beach or tips to save money on sunscreen. I have no idea. But, you know, I've had Hefty also contact me, trash bags, and they just wanted me to post a video. And it would do better for my traffic to say no to the free things like that and post something like a roundup, or to post a recipe or a blog tutorial than, you know, to turn my blog over to be a billboard for the day for a brand that doesn't care about me at all. So I know in an earlier email this month I said work for free for a little bit, which I believe if you really like the company, I mean, maybe I would have posted that Marriott infographic and 6 months down the road they would have invited me to tour their property. I don't know. But, you know, you just kind of have to pick and choose like what is most important to you and what is worth your time. And now that I'm, obviously I don't work full-time anymore. Well, I do, but in a different way. I'm not in an office in a 9-to-5 job. I am here doing whatever it is that I'm doing every day. And I realize how much time I don't have. So every question that I get, or every sponsored post, you know, somebody wants me to do, or every freebie they want me to share, is that worth my time? You know, what's your return on investment on that? So that's just something to think about. And I can't answer that question for you either. You know, that's something you have to figure out for yourself.
All right. Great tips, Crystal, on working with brands. Thank you.
Ooh, wait.
Okay, so
Kristen has awesome info, and if you hear my dogs barking, I'm sorry. This is a very good tip to establish a relationship and interact with, you know, brands that you like on social media. She established a really great working relationship with a major brand, and it all started on Twitter. Yes, Twitter is just great, which is why, like, even though I don't interact on Twitter as much as I probably should, but it is so easy to talk to brands and to retweet their stuff. And like when I have a recipe and it's not a sponsored post, it's just I made a recipe with this ingredient, I always tag them on Twitter, and more than likely they always favorite it, they always retweet it, they share it on their Facebook, and that just brings me way more exposure for something that, you know, maybe not as many people would have seen. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so speaking of exposure, our last question is about page views. So how would you recommend bloggers to increase their page views?
It will be different for everyone, and it really depends on the kind of blog that you have. But speaking as a lifestyle blogger who used to blog about what I did on the weekends and where I was going next weekend and doing link ups with surveys, I will say that once I got focused, my page views instantly went up. And it's kind of hard to stomach that, like, you know, oh, but I want to talk about, you know, what I did this weekend, and I went to the park, and then I did this, and my son is 2. There is a place for those posts, I think. You don't have to listen to me anyways. You can, you know, do whatever you think is right for your website, but just in my experience, the moment that and this was probably about when I got married, so in 2011, right after I got married, I sort of had like a theme a day. So after I got married, I did all my wedding pictures, I did all my honeymoon pictures, and then I sort of picked like, okay, well Monday I still did like weekend recaps, and then Tuesday I did something about the home. I mean, I would post really random stuff before I had my son, but then once I got pregnant, I was like, okay, Monday is baby stuff, Tuesday is what I bought at Target. There used to be a link up for that, and I miss it. It was so fun. Too bad she's not a blogger anymore, but fabulous but evil. She's never going to see this. But she used to do Target Tuesday. This was like way back in the day when blogging was so different, and sponsored content had not taken over yet. Wednesday I would share what my favorite pins were. Thursday would be photos. Like once I started kind of having a theme, I started to get more page views organically, and I didn't have to try as hard. And then, now over the course of the past year and a half, when I've been really focused, it's just gone up way more. I'm not like getting. I don't want you to think that I get like 1 million page views a month, because I don't. But it has gone up significantly now that I post what people want to read. And I know that they want to read roundups, 10 brownie recipes. I know that they want to see my recipes and my photos. I know that they want to see stuff about my house, and they want to see holiday stuff and crafts. I think there is a place to talk about your family, but I try to weave it in like organically. Like if I'm doing a recipe, I'll share pictures of, us cooking the dish, or I don't know. I try to just make it really natural, and especially with sponsored posts, I try so hard to not make it just a sponsored post. I try so hard. So if you are doing sponsored posts and you get stuck and you're just not sure what to say, I always try to give something extra. So that way it can be pinned and people will come to it. Whether that's make it tips, a bulleted list with tips, make a free printable in PicMonkey, like something they can frame in their house that relates to the cleaning product that you just had to talk about. That's kind of how I try to keep things evergreen, so people always have a reason to come back to that post and it's not so timely. So that's, I think, the only tip that I have to grow your page views organically. I think also if you are active in Facebook groups and Twitter, and you start talking to more bloggers and you start sharing each other's content and you participate in social media threads, obviously your numbers are going to go up. They might not go up a ton, but sharing each other's things on Facebook or visiting this person's blog and leaving a comment might sound tedious to sign up for something like that, but it does pay off in the end, I think, because it will bring you more opportunities to work with brands. And when you do work with brands and they retweet you, and then all of a sudden this Twitter account with 200,000 people tweeted your recipe and now your hits are up. So it is kind of just an ongoing process to get your numbers up. And I wish I had a better answer, but everybody has a different strategy. And if you're food, I feel like it's so easy. Everybody's looking for desserts and fun recipes. But if you're lifestyle, it might be a little more difficult. But I don't know. So that's my answer.
All right. Do we want to go ahead and take some questions in the Q&A section?
I think we have one wonderful question. Okay. So I'm going to click. Okay, got it. Oh, that was Leisha. I like her. I've been reading you for so long. Selecting question. Please wait. This is our first time doing this. It's pretty fun. So for ad rates on a blog, it really depends on what your traffic is. So I can't really say that, but you can look on Passion Fruit, and I believe you can scroll through their marketplace and see what people are charging. For blogs of all sizes. I have not had very good success with sidebar ads this past year at all, to the point where I don't offer them anymore. If I was offering them on my weddings blog and I was getting a few, and the rate on that blog was higher, so it was fine, it was worth it. They were wedding supply companies, so I know they wanted the exposure. But for my personal blog, I don't feel like the sidebar ads are effective at all. Moving my chair. I don't think they're effective at all. No offense to anyone who may have bought a sidebar ad from me in the past. Just even with affiliate ads that I put up there to try to make money, I can monitor all my clicks. And do I get clicks? Yeah, I do, but not very many conversions. So I think if you want to sell space on your ad, I mean, that's great. You should start somewhere. But I think there needs to be something extra, and I know Rachel can talk about this because I know she is working on revamping what she's offering. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. So I just revamped mine, like Crystal said. Instead of offering sidebar ads, because they weren't getting that many clicks, and they would have the impressions of all the people who came to my blog, but not everyone was necessarily clicking over on those ads. So instead, I have one ad. It's in post, so everyone sees it. And then I offered services with that ad. So the person who purchases that one ad gets tweets from me and pins from all their posts and comments on their blog and things like that. So making it a little more beneficial than just a visual ad that maybe not anyone's going to click on. So perhaps maybe adding other services too. Like I just added social media services. So if someone wanted, extra tweets this week or something like that, they have a lot of sponsored posts and they need help promoting them, and I have a service that I would do that for them. So instead of maybe as many ads, having services, or at least attaching some other benefit to the ad. So if you want to do sidebar ads, that's awesome, and they look cool on your blog. I like seeing them because I like seeing the different blogs that support each other and what the buttons everyone comes up with. But I think it's also good to add something with that. Like, okay, for $10 you're getting this ad, but you're also getting this other additional support from me to your blog.
I agree. Yeah, sidebar ads are just tough. I don't know. If you have great success with sidebar ads, I'd love to hear from you because I don't know. Even like I try to put things above the fold, like my top posts, and it's just not getting the clicks that I would like for that piece of real estate, which is why I've turned it over to my ad network, and it's doing okay. So I rather would fill that with an ad network, and by ad network I mean like Google AdSense, or I'm on Mode. There's a bunch others. But I've turned my awesome real estate into ads from a network and not like sidebar ads like this company or this blogger wants space on my blog, because I don't think it's really worth it for them. So we have another question, which is so exciting. So we have 10 minutes left. So if you have anything else, ask now. No, I'm just kidding. You can ask in the Facebook group too. But I'm going to take this one question, and then I think we're done. This is from Julie. What advice do you have for learning and getting help with the technical aspect of blogging? So that is a very broad question, but I will say that I think Julie's on WordPress because I was just on her blog today because she has a great blog. I just switched to WordPress this year. I find WordPress to be much easier than anything else I've used before. However, for like graphic designs and sort of like small tweaks, I do work with someone. I did design like my own logo in PicMonkey and Photoshop. Just because I wanted complete control over it. I couldn't get the logo right when I was working with somebody else. So I think it comes with experience, and if you use the right tools, something that I know that I'm better at now that I sucked at last year. Last year I had zero idea how to make my pictures look better, and I just learned through experience. Well, first off, you're going to need to get Photoshop. You don't have enough time to learn how to use Photoshop completely. So you read some reviews, you downloaded some Photoshop actions, and I know I talked about that in the emails, and now my pictures look way better. And it only took me like 30 minutes of my time to sort of learn the process that I needed, to make my blog look better. But if you're talking about like, how to edit your font or with your theme, I think it's always better to outsource that stuff because your time is so much better spent on like creating great content. But if you're interested and you love that and you think that would be really awesome to learn, then totally learn it. My degree is in instructional technology, which is like I took web design, I took JavaScript, I took graphic design, and even though I know enough to edit a website, that doesn't mean I want to do it because I have other things that I have to do. So, oh wow, Julie, let's go. Come on, Julie. So
Can I just throw something else in there?
What was that?
I just wanted to say something else about the technical. Oh, yeah. You can always Google. You can Google some things, and you can Google how to edit blah 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 in WordPress, or how to upload blah 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 in Blogger, or whatever you're looking for, and there's almost always a how-to on some blog somewhere or some technical website about technology that tells you how to do these things. So it's not like I all of a sudden came up with the knowledge of how to edit my HTML. You can search for it, and on Pinterest too. There's a lot of pins saying how to do these different things as well.
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun to learn if you have the time. So yeah, Julie, hit us up with questions. You got 9 minutes. So we are going to take your next question, which is about a media kit, and everyone will tell you something different. But I just have a funny story to share. I went to a blog conference a little while ago, and I went to the media kit session, and I already had a media kit, but I just wanted to hear what this person had to say, and our opinions were very different. So it is very much your discretion on the whole media kit thing. She purchased a media kit from Etsy, and she had a designer do the whole thing for $25. Was it an awesome design? Unfortunately, no. And I'm not trying to be negative, but you know, if you're going to pay someone to do something really awesome, like pay someone to do something really awesome. However, I think you can totally make your own media kit in I've seen people do it in PicMonkey. The problem with PicMonkey is you can't really like edit it very easily. Like you can make it and then, okay, how do you change it next time, you know? So I know Rachel does a lot of graphics in PicMonkey, so she might be able to talk about that. But I did mine in PowerPoint, and I went on Etsy, and I searched for clip art that I could use for personal and commercial use. They have a lot of the people that I buy clip art from on Etsy, they say you can basically use it anywhere as long as you don't put it on a t-shirt and sell it. So I bought like social media icons. I bought mason jars. This was a year ago when I made it, by the way. I probably need to revamp it, but I still use it. I bought mason jar clip art, and I bought like really cute lines, and I just made my media kit in PowerPoint, and I, you know, there's really cute mason jars at the bottom. It has my URL. It has all my info. I kept it very short. I can share it, actually. This is probably a better idea if I put it in the group. I just had one paragraph about me, my picture. I have my 5 best photos from my blog, like recipes, because I want people to see what I'm capable of doing, even if they're not a food brand. And then I just kind of have what Crystal is available for and what Crystal blogs about, and then some really cute mason jars, my URL. I kept it very simple. I really like mine, but I did it in PowerPoint, and I saved it as a PDF, and then I uploaded it into Dropbox. And so if anybody asks me for it anywhere, I just send them the link to Dropbox. So I don't have to attach this file to their email. I'm very wary with like company emails, because I know when I used to work at a company with a company email, I never got any emails with attachments, like ever. So I always send the link to Dropbox, so that way, you know, their email inbox isn't full with a big file, and they're able to download it there.
Yeah, I created mine in PowerPoint too, because PicMonkey is great for graphics and for watermarking your pictures and things like that, but you're right, you can't go back and edit it the way you can in PowerPoint. So I can save it in PowerPoint, go back and update my, you know, information as needed, and you can actually, when you save it as a PDF, the links that you created are clickable in that saved PDF as well. I learned that from Crystal. So I upload mine to Google Docs, and then if someone asks for it, I share the link to that document specifically, because I personally have issues using Dropbox. It's always too full, and I don't have enough space. So I use Google Docs, and I think it's called something else now. I just call it Google Docs, and that's how I do it.
I am loving that Kristen is IMing me all these questions, by the way. Let's do Kristen's question really quick. It's not in the sidebar, but hers is really good. And I just got Rachel hooked up with this week, so Rachel can have some experience with this too, because she literally just did this week. Kristen wanted to know where I got my content for roundups. Bad Crystal, 2 years ago, who had no idea what the heck she was doing, acquired content from places she should not have. I was on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, I could include them in a roundup. And then I quickly learned my ways. That's not the best way to go about it. There are groups on Facebook. I am in probably like 4, and one of them is Roundup Palooza, one of them is Operation Roundup, Crafts and Recipes Roundup, and there's another one. And I'm sure you can find them just by searching that. And usually the groups have pretty strict rules. A lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in have very strict rules, which is why Blog Resources is not super strict, and it's supposed to be super fun. But you can ask in any of those groups, for content. They let you, depending on the group, you can post like 2 requests at a time. You can leave them up for 2 weeks in search of apple recipes for fall. People leave you links, and they give you permission to take one of their photos and put it in your post and make it in a collage, and as long as you link back appropriately. And I just think that's awesome, because you know that you're doing everything in your power to make it right. Like, you will never have to go back to that post and say, oh no, I didn't get permission from that person to use that photo. I found it on Pinterest, and then that person is all of a sudden emailing you asking you to take it down. Not that that has ever happened to me or anything, so I just would advise just do it right from the start. And you can ask in our group too. There's I think 30 of us, and there's like 90 of you guys that are getting my emails right now, but I think there's like 30 of you guys in the Facebook group, and you can totally ask in Facebook, and you can start a thread and just ask. Oh, and please remind me if I don't post it later. There's a link. One of these bloggers that I read, she's creating a custom Google search for bloggers to use, and people in this custom Google search have said it is a-okay to use whatever you want from my website, including photos with a proper link back. So that is an awesome, awesome tool, and I just used it yesterday. So you just type in, what you're looking for. So yay, somebody's IMing me. Okay, so that is all my thing about Roundup. So Rachel, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, if you do want to go the Pinterest route, I would just recommend you email the bloggers.
Yes. Ask for permission. Do not just take it. But honestly, if you are trying to increase your page views too, post more roundups. I've been telling people this all the time, and I know I'm not the first person to say that. Obviously, roundups are popular for a reason. For whatever reason, they get super pinned whenever I do one. My most popular post for the past 2 months was like 25 tips to how to clean your house. I mean, it was not a super awesome article, but it's bringing me super awesome traffic, so I recommend that. So
make sure your roundup has a pinnable picture.
Pinnable picture, vertical, long, not a square, long. Okay, let's see what we have next. So we answered that. I think we have one more question. Oh, Julie, this is good. We could talk about this for a while. We won't talk about it for so long. Best financial investments that you made for your blog. Okay. Switching to WordPress was first. I think I paid a little bit too much to do the transfer, but I'm glad I did not have to do it myself. I had someone transfer and redirect all my links, and they set me up with a theme. But I did not realize how affordable WordPress themes are and how highly customizable they are. So I changed recently into a new theme. I mean, it still was an investment, but it wasn't a huge investment. I think I have paid $1 million over the past 3 years on social media tools like Buffer. I've tried all of them. I've kept Buffer. I've kept Viral Tag. And I sort of try things out, and then I stop using them after a while. But those 2 I still keep, and I still have monthly on that. I upgraded my Dropbox, Rachel, so I always have space in my Dropbox. I think that is very worthwhile because you never know when you're going to need it. I also worked with a coach. So that is something else that I did, and that is not related to blogging, but it is in a way. I worked with her since May of last year, off and on, and I'm in one of her programs right now. So it is nice to have someone to keep you accountable for what you say that you're going to do. I don't know, it's somebody there to like be your cheerleader and to, like I said, keep you accountable, because if your work is online, you can either always be working or never be working. and there's kind of like a big divide there. So that's my take. Good design, good graphic design. I don't think you'll ever wish you didn't invest in graphic design. Do you have any thoughts, Rachel?
No, I think that sounds good. That's what I would have said too.
Yay. Okay. Lixa said lots of stuff. She's really awesome. She never sells sidebar ads. I mean, I don't think it's worth it, so there's no reason to try. Yeah, when you redesign and revamp your blog, I think it's good to like list your services. My page isn't completely done yet, but there are some bloggers out there that have really great pages with, kind of like their creative services, what they can do for you. Not only, as a blogger can you offer your space on your sidebar, but you can do services for people and help other bloggers either create content, edit their content, share their content. I mean, all of that I think comes at a price. So that's why virtual assistants are, making killer money right now because we're all using them to help us. And as bloggers, I think we're all qualified to do that. So if you need extra money, I guess that's something you can look into. Okay. I think we're officially done, and it's 10:03, so I'm really awesome that we finished on time. So I'm going to go in the group, and if there's anything else that anybody has to say, we can post it in there. And I'll post a whole bunch of links because we just talked about a whole bunch of stuff that I want to share. Okay, so that's it, unless Rachel has any final words.
No final words for me. Thanks for watching.
Yay, virtual cheers.
Cheers.
All right, bye everybody.